Welcome students. In this video class, I will be sharing the points related with the limits of civil disobedience movements. Not all the community in the society were supporting the civil disobedience movement. They had different strands, different demands while joining the civil disobedience movement. And in this class, I will be sharing this. So, social groups were moved by the abstract concept of Swaraj. Not all the social groups were moved by the abstract concept of Swaraj. One such group was the nation's untouchables, who from around 1930 had begun to call themselves Dalit or oppressed. For long, the Congress had ignored the Dalits for fear of offending the Sanatanis, the conservative high caste Hindus. But Mahatma Gandhi declared that Swaraj would not come for 100 years if untouchability was not eliminated. Mahatma Gandhi called the untouchables Harijans, or the children of God. Organized satyagraha to secure them entry into temples and access to public wells, tanks, roads, schools, which were denied by the high conservative Hindu society to these Dalit people. Mahatma Gandhi himself cleaned toilets to dignify the work of the Bhangi, the sweepers, and persuaded upper caste to change their heart and give up the sin of untouchability. But many Dalit leaders were keen on a different political solution to the problems of the community. They began organizing themselves, demanding reserve seats in education institutes and a separate electorate that would choose Dalit members for legislative council. That means Dalit leaders will be chosen by the Dalit people, a separate council. Political empowerments, the Dalits believe, would resolve the problems of their social disabilities. So the Dalit participation in the civil disobedience movement was therefore limited, particularly in the Maharashtra and Nagpur region where their organization was quite strong. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, who organized the Dalits into a depressed class association in the year 1930, clashed with Mahatma Gandhi at the second round table conference by demanding separate electorates for Dalits. When the British supported this demand, Gandhiji began a fast unto death. Mahatma Gandhi fasted because he believed that separate electorates for Dalits would slow down the process of their integration with the mainstream society, with other people in the society. Ambedkar ultimately accepted Gandhi's position, and result was the Pune Pact of September 1932. Where depressed classes were given the reserve seat in provincial and central legislative council. But the leaders of the depressed class will not be chosen only by the Dalits, but all the other castes that were in that society. The Dalit movement, however, continued to be apprehensive of the Congress-led national movement. Again, one political group was formed within the society, that was Muslim political organization, who were reluctant in joining the movement. Their response to the civil disobedience movement was minimal. After the decline of non-cooperation Khilafat movement, a large section of Muslims felt alienated from the Congress. From the mid-1920s, the Congress came to be more visible, associated openly Hindu religious national groups like Hindu Mahasabha. As relation between Hindu and Muslim worsened, each community organized a religious procession with militant fervor. That means violence, provoking Hindu-Muslim communal clashes and riots in various cities. Every riot deepened the distance between the two communities, widened the distance. The Congress and the Muslim League made efforts to renegotiate an alliance, and in 1927 it appeared that such a unity could be formed. The important differences were over the questions of representation in the future assemblies that were to be elected. So, Muhammad Jinnah, Ali Jinnah, one of the leaders of the Muslim League, was willing to give up demands for separate electorates if Muslims were assured reserved seats in Central Assembly and representation in proportion to the population in the Muslim-dominated provinces, especially Bengal and Punjab. Negotiation over the questions of representation continued, but all hope of resolving the issue at all-party conference in 1928 disappeared when M.R. Jayakar of Hindu Mahasabha strongly opposed efforts at compromise. That the Hindu Mahasabha was not supporting the compromise of giving away or sharing the constituencies. When civil disobedience movement started, there was thus an atmosphere of suspicion and distrust between the communities. Aliened from Congress, large section of Muslims could not respond to the call for a united struggle. Many Muslim leaders and intellectuals expressed their concern about the status of Muslims as a minority within India. They feared that the culture and identity of minorities would be submerged under the domination of Hindu majority.